backwards
Uh,
when it showed them. We'll have to talk about it later, though.
yeah,
Are we live now?
it's starting, yes.
Okay.
Just making sure here. I kind of dimmed my light down so I'm not so bright. It's probably a little too much now, but it's all right. Really sucks the internet doing this. I still haven't hardwired into the router over there yet. I need to get that done.
Yeah, you were having a little bit of issues with it last week, weren't you?
Yeah, a little bit. And of course, now we got this. So it looks like it's on. I
Okay.
think we are live. So what's showing up right now is the chests are up there right now. I'm moving my screen over so I can see better.
Is this one that you put together too?
Yeah, I've had it for a while. I just haven't shared it. So it looks like we're live. I assume we are.
Let me check YouTube.
Chat is disabled for this. How did I get that disabled?
Let me see if you're live.
Okay, now it's on. Okay, Larry's there. And Hooley's on there. What up, Brian? Just hanging out with Galaxy. We're just going to go over some things that I've seen over the last couple of years, just really haven't shared them live. So we got a couple in here watching. So while we're on here, Galaxy, so this is the latches that I've talked about before, you and I've talked about, and how they're all pretty similar, but there's some differences there. Of course, we don't have high res pictures because Dan Barbarisi won't give us high res pictures, and we don't have high res pictures of Jack and Forrest either. It's funny, we have no high res pictures. But the only one I noticed was this one where Forrest has got his hand on it, how this latch plate curves in and then has like a 90-degree angle here. Now, what I was telling you earlier is that could be just from the reflection on this gold mirror that's causing that optical illusion. So I'm willing to accept that optical illusion. You know, with me being in printing, I see optical illusions all the time, you know, and photography has it a lot also. So what do you think? Do you think there's anything to that?
To me, I kind of think that those would all be the same chest, just because they're all from his office.
Yeah. I mean, there are some little differences. They're like, this one is the one that Dan took up here, top left. It's got a lot of rust spots on it. And over here, you can't really see them. Of course, we don't have a high res picture to go by. And
What I think you should have on there is the scrapbook 158 one on there.
Oh yeah, I've got that loaded up too. So I'll switch over. See that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, these are other ones that we've seen. This is on the back cover of the book. This is the same table. I'm assuming is the same table. Top left is the same table as this one. It's just the photographer. I don't know if the photographer did that or messed with the I'm sure he messed with the enhancements on there. Because there's quite a difference between those two pictures.
You talking the top two ones, or
Yeah, the top two ones. The one on the top right is from the TTOTC, the back cover. Look on the back cover there. There's a picture of it. And then the other one is, I think that was from a scrapbook, wasn't it? That's not in the book, so I think it was from a scrapbook. But that looks like an original.
which one are you saying is the one from the scrapbook?
I think the top left one is also from like a scrapbook, or not from a scrapbook, but it's from
I think that one is in the front, on the front page.
yeah, but it's a different color. That's actually, I actually pulled that from one of his where he talks about all the different things that are in the chest.
Oh, okay.
That's what that's from. It may not been a scrapbook, but yeah. Yeah, it's the same picture as this one. Of course, this one is just like that's a duotone is what that is. Yeah, whatever color they use for that. It's like a Pantone color they used. And then print it out in CMYK. And the bottom left one is, of course, scrapbook 158. It's also the one that you and I noticed. It's got the JF and then something else written down here in the bottom left-hand corner.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, you and I are the first ones to point that out.
I think you were the one that noticed it at first, weren't you?
Yeah, we were discussing it, yeah. But I'm just, the difference in the patina is what drives me crazy. You got all these different colors. I mean, look at this top right one here. That one, the grass is nice and green up here, but man, there's no green in this chest at all. It's like completely gone. And you got a little brown from the, I guess what are those things called? I lost my words here. But you can see how the grass is green. Well,
yeah.
If this chest has got some patina in it, why is it not showing any patina at all? Don't you think that's odd?
Now you're talking the top right one?
Top right, yes. This one.
Well, that one I could see that being explained by it's got dust, caked onto it.
It could, but I would think it would still have. Well, if you look at this one's actually got some green patina to it. This is the one that we actually saw in June of 2020. This one actually has some green patina to it. Now, I don't have it blown up, but but it actually had some green patina to it. I just find it odd that this has none, zero.
Yeah, it looks like it contradicts what Forrest said even right there.
Yeah.
In the interview, he's saying it got a lot darker than I expected.
Yeah.
And here it is looking like it's 10 shades lighter.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. And then here, whoops, sorry. Then you've got this one, it is way out of whack. I don't know, whoever did this picture, I don't know, man. There must have been some fudging on colors. That's all I can say.
It doesn't even really look like it's bronze.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And something I noticed on this picture now, I'm not going to be able to do it here with what I've got in front of me, but if you blow this picture up right in here, This little green spot right here bleeds off into the this plastic bag. I don't know. Let me try to blow it up and see if it'll. It's a low res picture anyway, but I did it with Photoshop. And it's not going to show it very good in here, but in Photoshop you can actually see this green here.
Oh.
On top of this, where the latch hole is at.
Mm-hmm.
So this green actually bleeds over into the plastic bag. And how does that happen? It's been something that's been photoshopped.
You're saying it says it's been photoshopped?
I'm suggesting that it could have been photoshopped. Because this green here bleeds, like you can't see it on here, but if I had this in Photoshop, you would see this green bleeding over to the plastic bag. And the only way that happens if you've done that in Photoshop and you've used a brush tool, paint tool,
Oh, okay.
and it graduates over into the plastic bag.
So there's no chance it could be like maybe some residue from the bronze or anything like that?
Would you say that again?
Just like residue from the bronze?
I don't think so. No, not bleeding in, not bleeding into the plastic bag.
Is that one of the plastic bags that looks like it's brand new too?
Yeah, it does. Sure does.
The brand new plastic bags in the chest that's been sitting in the ground for 10 years?
Yeah. Yep. There was another picture. It's Dan Barbarisi's picture. Man, I wish I would have had that available. Anyway, it's a picture where he's standing behind the desk with the treasure chest. And the carpet on the left-hand side of where he's standing, as you're looking at it on the left-hand side, it's a bright blue color. And back behind him on the right-hand side, it's like a completely different color blue. Now, granted, I know how lighting works, can play a lot of tricks. And that's the problem with all this stuff is there's optical illusions to everything. Something can look off, but yet legit. Like in photography, the angle of something doesn't quite look right. Well, it's just photography. It's the way it works.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of hard to prove that stuff. So then there's this one. So which one of these chests would you like to own?
Top left.
Yeah, where's that from anyway?
Scrapbook 158.
Yep.
The early
158.
The early arrangement, I believe it was titled.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a difference in it. Now, granted, this one over here, top right, that's Dan's picture, and he has a bunch of stuff out of there, but still quite a drastic change, isn't it?
Hey, can you see that? Can you see the bead of bronze like on the bottom left corner of that lid on the right photo?
It's probably got a low resolution one. I don't think that one. I can't remember if that's a high resolution picture or not. I know Dan had some high resolution pictures, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to blow up right now, but see if we can get it. You really couldn't see it very good. It looks like something's in the bottom left-hand corner. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's right here versus right here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can kind of see something there, but it kind of looks like a small bead of something up in there. See it? How's that? So it looks like a small bead there, but
Okay.
it's hard to really tell. I mean, this one is a nice, good sized bead. I mean, I don't think you could miss that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
If you had a good picture to go by, I don't think you'd be able to see that. And that's part of the problem is none of the pictures we get, like this one here, this was a nice high res picture, but guess what? They cut it off. You can't see it. You know, this is what I was talking about. See how this has even got some green in it?
Uh-huh.
That has some green patina showing through all that dust and dirt. Especially, well, it does here, but of course that one picture up here doesn't show it at all. Yeah, right here. Whoops, I went too far.
Wait, hey, try and find the bead on that bottom photo.
But yeah, see how doesn't even come close to looking green at all. This one here.
Yeah.
See, it looks like there's a bead on this one, but it's such a low resolution picture, you can't get a good idea. But that's also the one I was saying that this green, maybe I need to do that sometime, is pull that up into Photoshop and show how this green bleeds into the plastic bag. Oh, there's so who all we got? We got Okay Larry, Hooli, Granite Granny, Nomadic Madman, Treasure Warriors. Hello, everybody. We're just throwing out our own little thoughts on some of this stuff. So any more thoughts on these pictures? Anything you want to add?
I just wonder why Forrest was so particular on telling us how much it weighed. I wonder if if there is two, there must be a weight difference.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious of that. Of course, we don't know where the chest is right now. There's assumptions that somebody has it, but who knows? Looks like Stumpy's trying to get in.
Oh, good. Figured he'd wait until the last 5 minutes.
What's that? Can you hear us, Stumpy? Treasure Warriors, 22 pounds of gold, 22 pounds of DB Cooper cash. You know, so the whole DB Cooper thing, here's my theory. The DB Cooper thing, is it possible that that's all part of this? Because we're never going to get anything, a real story. It's all going to be a mystery, just like DB Cooper. What's your thought on that?
I would say that's more likely.
I mean, I just throw that out there every once in a while, just because, yeah. I mean, there are definitely a lot of subtle hints towards DB Cooper. That's for sure. I mean, look at the dragon bracelet chest, DBC.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Stumpy, how you doing?
Good. Hi, Galaxy.
I didn't think we would.
Hey, how's it going?
See you.
I'm good. I'm good.
I didn't think we would get the opportunity to have you on.
Be blessed with my presence.
Yeah. So, do you see the olive jar, Jason? It's got the nice wax ring on it.
Beautiful. I like it, Brian. I like it.
Yeah. It could be the original.
Possibly.
I'll sell this one for half the price of the other one.
Yes, this one's. So are you talking about the treasure chests again, that they're different ones? Like,
Yeah, we're leading up to something.
are you insinuating that someone thinks that they're smart enough to pass off 5 different chests as being this the original?
No, I'm not suggesting that. We were just merely talking about the inside on the latch. We were talking about the different patina, all the different patinas that we've seen that's been given to us.
You know, when
Um,
when he said that, I thought it would be darker.
yeah.
So I hopped on about the time that Galaxy said that.
Mhm.
It's funny because I thought it would be darker. Now as a person on this side of the screen, right? The audience side. When have we ever, what could we associate? I mean, this game is about associations, right? Like you see something, you associate it to this to mean that, it's got to be that.
You're right.
Like
Right.
that's what this whole thing's been, is about associations.
Yeah.
So there's only one time that I can remember the chest looking dark that I could associate him saying I thought it would be darker, and that's when he was with that gal and it was in the vault. I mean, the dang thing looked black in the corner,
Yeah.
So
So
like when he said that, that's what I thought of immediately. So I was
Yeah.
like, there must be a clue in that picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know why Forrest would have thought it would have been darker. It makes really no sense. It would have been lighter.
That's what I mean though. Like it
Yeah.
made no sense. So
Yeah.
it's like, so then what else could it mean? Could it
Right.
mean look at the picture he showed you when it was dark?
Yeah. Well, that's why I've been trying to get a hold of that Craig Childs too, because he said he saw it. So I'm just curious. He seems like a character that would be willing to have a sit down and chat with us. I've tried to contact Addison Dottie, who did the pictures for TTOTC, and I've not ever gotten a reply. I've left messages but never got a reply. So
You know how dumb I was during the chase, like when it was like just starting to really resonate in my blood.
mhm.
That chest down in the bottom left corner, how it's all arranged real nice. It's nice and full. It's attractive. It's enticing.
Right.
And then how he took snippets from that picture, like up in the top left corner. That's
Mhm.
a book, that's the next page after the poem.
Right.
It's like, and I literally used that picture as a map. Like, like that picture to me is a map. If you look how it's arranged, it's like it's abstract yet looks complete. You know what I mean? Like it took
Right.
some time to arrange that. Look at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's it's picture perfect, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, so I was like, well, why?
Hmm.
Why would it be? So I looked at that and I used that as a map. That was one of my maps.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've done a video on this one right here as a map.
See, and I can understand how that one would be a map too,
Yeah.
to the second location. Dum dum dum. What up, Galaxy?
what's going on, Jason?
Oh, living the dream, just not my own.
It's too bad we didn't know somebody that knew, how to cast bronze. They could, come up with a replica that was hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
It's too bad we didn't know somebody like that could pull that off, right?
I
Hmm.
know, I
Oh,
know.
wait.
Oh, I do have this picture, Galaxy. I lied. So here's the picture of Dan Barbarisi. On
Where's the map?
on the left-hand side, boy, that carpet's nice and pretty blue. Over here on the right-hand side, it's a dingy blue. Yeah. I mean, come on now, seriously?
So I would say the blue is what got photoshopped in.
Something got photoshopped in.
And the shape of his right hand.
And I would say probably Dan got photoshopped in there also.
And his breasts are bursting the buttons. Come on now. Like, are we not going to talk about this?
Looks like Forrest gave him that shirt to wear or something.
Anyway, so what I was going with this is, so I tried to do my best to measure out this chest from that Dan had. You know, the center point here, bring this line down here to the center inside. This gave me the olive jar, centered it up, measured about from here to here, did all this measurement to kind of give me the size of the olive jar, which was here.
How many inches?
I don't remember what it was, Galaxy. I didn't write it down. I don't remember what it was.
You know, and doesn't it look like that picture was like squeezed together? You know, like how you could wide a picture, you know, when you're like, it made Dan look thinner. It makes
Yeah.
makes the
Yeah.
chest look compact. Like it's only like, I mean, I was gonna say something, but it'd be inappropriate. But I was like just thinking of the size of his hand in comparison of the sidewall, because that's in a good spot. You know, it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, people. I'm not doing a very good job paying attention to the chat. Oh, Jeremy's in the house.
be a lot cooler if Leroy stopped by.
Yeah.
Who's this Jeremy guy? We want Leroy.
So anyway, so I got to that, and then originally Galaxy and I was talking about the olive jar. He sent this picture to me, and I was trying to match up the copy, which I came to 11-point type. Let me blow it up so you can see a little better. So that's 11-point type right there. But after going back and re-examining this, I came out with 8-point type across here.
So it's about the same size as the printing on that auction card.
Yeah. Yep.
So do you think that was taken to Kinko's and have to use a magnifying glass to read those cards?
I don't know. I wasn't there, so I have no idea. I'm kind of just working with what we've got here. So something I noticed was when I made my olive jar, I used 20-pound copy paper is all it is. 20,000 words. You can't see through it. You can't see the copy through the paper. So that told me that it wasn't 20-pound paper, and it wasn't any thinner paper than that, because that's 20-pound paper is about as thin as you can get. But what kind of paper can you get that you can actually see through is waterproof paper. So let me show you this. So I printed this out on, Gatorade, the big G. I like the big G, Stumpy.
Oh, I know, right? G-Funk era, two-step to this, I dare ya.
So I give you waterproof paper that you can see through.
That makes a little more sense, don't it?
Yeah. This is 5 mil. You probably can get, which is pretty thin. You can probably get thinner waterproof paper, but this is what we use at work anyway. Very expensive stuff. I only use 2 sheets, so I wouldn't get in trouble. It's not that expensive. It's like maybe $1 per sheet for like a 12 by 18 sheet.
Isn't the pages in the Thrill of the Chase waterproof as well with his special paper that he had shipped in?
No, that's not waterproof. No, he tells what it is in the front. It's like 100 pounds, 100 pound silk text or something like that, or gloss text. He says in there's somewhere in here. But anyway, so I come to the conclusion that that was waterproof paper. So my olive jar, I may have to redo this because my experiment of putting this in the freezer in different elements isn't going to work because this paper, 20-pound paper, definitely holds moisture, which is going to collect moisture in this jar. But that paper right there, it won't hold moisture. So now I'm back to square one with my olive jar test. Not that it's going to get us anywhere. It's a little fun little thing that I'm doing, you know?
Did you drop a couple hairs in there too?
Short
I
hair.
did actually drop a couple of hairs in there. No, I didn't drop any hairs in there. Jason would say they were nose hairs, but
Oh, come on now. I'd say they're short hairs. Gray ones.
yeah. So I need to keep up with chat. The Leroy Internet Show. Howdy, Brian. There you go.
There he is. What's up, buddy? You know, I used to live in one of them there trailer parks with junk cars in the front yard. And then one day there's a damn goat. A goat, I say.
Huh.
He was standing up on the porch, and by golly, he jumped right on top of that car.
Yeah.
And I said, "Damn goat, get off that car!" And the goat, he just looked at me and he goes, "Bah." It wasn't a goat at all. It was a damn sheep.
I got a book in the mail today.
Nice.
This is the guy that emailed me here a couple of weeks ago. So talks about the Appalachian Trail. A lot of it does. Most of it does. He said there's a couple of chapters that he wrote about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt that he did. You know, he participated.
Get off my woman's mama's sister's car.
So that's what I had tonight to share. So, Jason, I have a question for you. The kidnap letter that was mentioned several years ago. So I was one of the ones that actually kind of believed that. Like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Heck, I kind of ran with that a little bit, you know? So now we find out that maybe there wasn't any truth to that. Do you know anything about that?
Who are you talking to?
Either one of you, Galaxy or Stumpy.
Oh, okay. I thought I said Jason.
You know, the letter that said that if something was happened to Forrest, he would lead him to West Yellowstone, and Dale would be waiting there with the authorities.
I kind of liked that. I mean, it was quite the story, just out of the blue, even. You know what I mean? We didn't expect something like that.
No. Do you know where
Who
it came
said it?
from? I know where it came from. Do you remember where it came from?
Yeah, that's who I thought you're talking to.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what to think of that, Brian.
Yeah, I just wondered.
I thought it was odd. It was definitely odd, like all the different scenarios. You know, he talked about a guy that got, beaten. The cops are beating up on outside because he was resisting arrest.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the dude that was like attempted kidnapping. So it goes back to the association thing. It's like just doing a full circle.
Yeah.
And because obviously when you hear kidnap, you immediately think, back then. I really don't know where that came out of. I think it was odd, to say the least. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't believe anything, Brian. from 18 till now, all of you, well, I don't even know what to call your era of searchers. Like, what is there a name for that? Because a
Yeah.
lot of people jumped in at 18, and a lot of those people that jumped in at 18 and 19 are talking heads on the internet screen.
Yeah. Well, I jumped in 2019. So, and you know what? You know my story why I jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I mean,
Because you gave a hoot. That's why.
you're right. I did. Matter of fact, I found the hoot.
You gave a
So
hoot, and I get that. And
the hoo. Yeah, my story is maybe different than other people's. I don't know. I didn't follow the treasure hunt, the Finn treasure hunt. I mean, I heard about it early on, and then I looked at the poem and looked at a map, Google map, and nothing. You know, I was just like, this is never going to get anywhere with this.
you know,
I mean, I did ask for the book for like 2 or 3 years, and I finally got it, but my journey had already started like a week before that. So, and you know, my journey started at the Park, which is a restaurant here in Columbia. So it's very odd that we end up in the park they call West Yellowstone. But I like to tell people that the park, there is a county called Park. And there's more to Park County than just Yellowstone. And if I'm not, you tell me if I'm wrong, but 9 Mile Hole, isn't that in Teton County?
isn't the Tetons like a little more like northwest?
Well, the Tetons, you know, there's Tetons south of Yellowstone, but Teton County
Yeah.
goes up into Yellowstone. I'm pretty sure that Park County runs pretty close through Madison River. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the boundaries, but I remember seeing that early on, like, wait a minute, not even in Park County, it's in Teton County. You don't ever hear anybody talk about the counties. I think they're missing a big picture there. If you're thinking about borders, and what do borders do? They halt. Forrest talking about how many, well, no, it wasn't him that talked about the chain link. Somebody brought that up to him. Well,
Like
you know, the first thing, what's that?
oh, it's just, like right there when you said, what do borders do? They halt. And association, he said that was it the Zuni, or what tribe was that in western New Mexico? And he made the comment, he said they're further west into Arizona, but I don't think they knew where the boundaries were.
Yeah.
Like Indians. Like he found pottery, the same type of pottery further west into Arizona.
Mhm.
He said, but I don't think they knew where the boundary was.
Right.
So that alone raises the question, because that boundary is fairly new. You know what I mean? Like between
Yeah.
Mexico, that whole area.
Yeah.
Boundaries have been changing over so many years after, and it's like, wow, I learned that from that statement. When he made that statement is when okay, what's this got to do with it? So I went in and I looked at it and I was like, wow, the boundaries of New Mexico like varied so much. Like it did. Like it went all the way up into California at one time. And I believe it went up to Wyoming. It went, you know what I mean? It's just like it kept moving around. So they
Yeah.
did not know where the boundaries were. I just thought that was kind of coincidental.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Forrest that mentioned the chain links. Wasn't that somebody that posed a question to him?
Yeah, he never said chain link.
But he kind of ran with it though.
But he also said that when somebody makes a mistake, sometimes he just lets them make the mistake. It's
Yeah.
not his place to correct them. So somebody did. I think he said it was 66,000 links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then someone translated that to 8.25, and then he just kind of rolled with it. But
Yeah. And so so here I'm, this is me thinking, when you start talking county borders, state borders, you start talking when they start talking chain links and all this. Well, the first thing that come to my mind was surveyors.
mhm,
So yeah.
yep. And then, oh, obviously, I mean, because that's a big theme, right? I mean, Lewis and
Yeah.
Clark, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then the railroad going through, that's a big deal,
Right.
and I think Eric Sloan kind of traveled that same route as the railroad did, going
Mhm.
east up to New York. So just throwing that out there too. And my golly, it goes right through Iowa.
Mhm. Galaxy, you have anything to add?
What'd you say?
You have anything to add?
I when I hear of the kidnapping plan,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just think maybe there was one up there. I'm thinking that there's more than one chest, and that was like phase one. What if he could end it even with somebody kidnapping him? Like what if that could have been the end to this portion? A man gets arrested, that chest gets seized, something like that.
Yeah. Um, so I know you and I have talked a lot about the two chest theory. So I think we should do a show just on the two chest theory.
I would like that. I would prepare for that one.
Stumpy
guys-
liked
What are
it.
you
He thought that was funny.
What are you laughing for, Stumpy?
Oh my God. Hey,
Hey, why do they call you Stumpy anyways?
I that's what she said. So like I for one have never thought there's two chests. So
You never have?
yes, of course I have. Like the something you saw two omegas, and then once one chest gets found, one of the omegas disappears. Like, come on.
Yeah, could be his hold card. I mean, that one chest that we're getting to see right now could be his hold card.
Well, and I remember talking to Galaxy on the phone when the chest very first showed up at the museum, and I think there were pictures of Cynthia. And Galaxy, didn't I tell you right then? I said, that's the real chest. The other ones we've saw, I just got a blah feeling about. But when I saw that one, I was like, that's it. And it even looked different, compared to the other ones. And I was like, that's the OG one right there. So then it makes you wonder, like, okay, so where did it come from? And what has been passed off to us thus far, and why did this one come in the picture at this time? You
Yeah.
remember the conversation there, Galaxy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, right when I saw that one, I you could feel it in your heart. It's like, oh, that's actually it. There's no tricks. I mean, there's tricks added to it, but I'm just saying that initial is like, wow, cool.
So you think the one at Heritage was the real one?
I think the one in the picture with Cynthia when she was overdressed was the real one.
Well, how do you know it's not the same one?
I don't know. I just felt it in my bones.
Yeah.
I just literally, I didn't pay attention to anything prior to it. Didn't care. And I talked to you. I never cared about that stuff, did I? But the second that, and I think Galaxy told me, like, hey, do you see the pictures? I think he was the one that, alerted me on that. And I looked and I felt it. I was like, wow, that's actually the chest. I don't know why. It just,
Yeah. Well, they still don't show us any of the markings.
that might be the only picture of that chest,
Mhm.
See, I think it is the same one.
The same one that was in the office?
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Well, okay. I
get a
could see it
total,
that way.
I get a
But
total
in that
different
case, I
vibe.
would say that one is definitely the fake then. But
Kind of like Jack's Omega knockoff watch.
So like you know where you guys are talking about the chest at the office, right? Everything on that table looked reproduced. The discs were different sizes. The everything looked like they were just made to look like it, except the dragon bracelet is the only original piece to, in my perspective, what I
Mhm.
saw felt like the only original piece. Like it was retrieved out of that chest and sat on that table to give it the feeling of everything else to be real. And I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
Everything else looked bullshit except that dragon bracelet. So I believe that chest was around then, but not displayed. And I think it came out for real with Cynthia was at, you know, down there in Houston.
Hmm.
there's not even a picture in the lawyer's office or with Barbarisi where the bracelet is sitting on the inside of that chest, is there?
There's a picture of it sitting there and it had the old cloth, like the old linen cloth, or I don't want to call it linen, it's more like a burlap almost. Ha, bird.
Some people call it a
No,
paper towel.
I'm talking about the bracelet with the little stones in it.
Oh, the turquoise bracelet. Yeah, and then what is that crap about? Like one of the frogs were missing. Oh, I got that in my desk drawer. Oh, here you go. I'll give that back.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on.
What about the Whitman's chocolate box?
Just
That ring a bell to anybody?
yeah, because even Greg was going down to visit the chocolate place down there.
So here's something. Did you know Whitman makes a coin book? You put all your coins in. It's by Whitman. My dad had a bunch of those books, his coin collection, and they were by Whitman. Thought that was interesting. He pulls out the name Whitman. Not that that means anything. I was going to share something else, and I got to send it to myself here. So we were talking about, we got on the two chests, but the kidnap thing. Did you have anything else to add to that, Galaxy?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just
Well, I'm like I said, I was one of the ones that kind of ran with that and kind of thought a lot of that towards the end, because it's funny how they said West Yellowstone, but made me wonder when this came out, did these people already know something? That's where I'm coming at. That's where I'm going. Because it wasn't long after the chase had ended that got dropped. So,
you know, if it was
and then here we are. Thought it was awful convenient.
if that actually was the plan, I mean, wouldn't that mean that it would have to be right around there? Because, you know, if somebody in his family did get kidnapped, it seems like he would actually lead them to wherever it was at. And then
Mhm.
they would, you know, catch up to him right afterwards.
Well, I thought about that, but would he lead him to the one that's fake? The chest that's not the real one, the one that you're supposed to be looking for.
So Brian, since we're talking about the topic, do you have the letter? Like not the letter, but do you remember what the letter said?
I don't have the letter. I just remember who broke that.
Yeah, but it was read to us. So like, do you remember
Um,
what it said?
I guarantee that video is not there anymore.
Does anyone in the chat remember what that was said?
Does anybody in the chat remember where the A Whisper says Whitman's chocolate is from Philadelphia. How convenient.
I just think that they're conversation pieces. All that little dumb shit is conversation pieces.
And see, that Whitman chocolate thing came out after, that was a Dan Barbarisi thing in his book.
Yeah, but it's also like one of those things where the chase had already gone. YouTube was already up and running. Conspiracy theories are flying on every channel to where you could literally average it out and get a basic heartbeat of the community to predict that they're going to respond to this in this way. So we're going to throw this in there. You know what I mean? It's like, and then like with it, oh, it's from Philadelphia. Like, who is the one that did the research to try to make the associations, the connections to go back to Philadelphia? Oh, let's put chocolate thing there because someone's going to look it up and going to look at it and they're going to, oh my God, it's from Philadelphia, Jack. You know what I mean? Jack must have been there. He had chocolate. He left it there. You know what I mean? How stupid of a setup is that? Seriously.
What's that Forrest Gump saying? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I agree. I was actually going to watch that last night. I watched Stargate instead. The original movie Stargate with Kurt Russell. That was a pretty good movie. I haven't seen that for years and years and years.
I'm going to share a picture of Forrest.
It's like a combination of Indiana Jones and Star Wars. Like if you go back and watch Stargate, it's like the perfect blend, like the anticipative music of Indiana Jones with the lasers and like
Right.
we should just stop the shit and talk about MGM. I mean, come on now. Like let's just quit the shit. Let's talk about MGM. How about that, there, Brian Gates?
Not yet.
Brian's like, not yet, he says. Are we going to drag this out for 9 months and then bring that up?
No, I would say probably next month or two. Can you see Forrest here?
Yeah.
This is Forrest and Piggy, Valentine's 2020, February 2020. You notice that it's a gold vase. And Forrest has his hand on the gold vase. But yet the roses are pointing towards Peggy. As to say, yes, the gold's important, but the real treasure is right there.
So you're thinking that it was intentionally turned that way so that Rose was in that position with Peggy.
That's always been my thought.
I like it. I never really paid too much attention to like stuff like this because I don't know, that's a family thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing is, I didn't notice that in the beginning.
Well, nothing towards you. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I always like, why is that rose pointed towards? It was pointed towards Peggy, and then I was looking at that the other day. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a gold vase.
Oh, so what dragon did Forrest slay to save Peggy? That's what I get out of this picture.
Well, when dragon did he slay?
What dragon did Forrest slay to save Peggy? So then going all the way back in when they were first started courting one another. Wasn't there a story? Well, there was one, where he didn't feel like, and and what's the word, tenacity, or he said something about that.
Tenacity
Tenacity was never one of my shortcomings.
Yeah, yep. And then, but that era is what I'm talking about, in that area, to where, wasn't there another guy involved with Peggy, and then Forrest swooped in and got her? I don't remember. I'm asking, like, legitly, if anyone can remember that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, that's what I get from this. He slayed a dragon and rescued Peggy.
Mhm.
Cut the head right off that dragon, he did.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that.
I think it's interesting that that's a fancy gold vase,
Yeah, very fancy.
and it doesn't look fake.
Nope.
It
But-
reminds me of
But he's also he could be saying the gold's not the important thing. Like already downplaying it, so to speak. That was in between the two emails that Forrest supposedly sent Jack. I mean, not Jack, but Dale. So I think what I'm going to do, so you guys aren't on the stream, I am going to probably do out of the blue a live YouTube with the audio CD
There you go.
without YouTube. Put it this way, I've reached out to Santa Fe court system for clarification on that. Never heard anything. So I take that as I can do what I want with it.
You paid for it.
I paid a whole $4 for it. Oh, by the way, somebody just put their paperwork in for audio CD also, another one.
Oh, funny. So what, you get residuals on anyone else that's
I get residuals on everybody that gets an audio CD. This is my plug for the New Mexico court system. So yeah, everybody go get you a CD. I get a little take off this.
Oh, yep.
Nah, I don't.
So,
In other words, I don't want to get you two in trouble for me.
Oh, heck, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna just play it.
You just don't want us interrupting you like this.
Oh no, I'm just gonna play it and let people make up their own mind. I'm not even gonna talk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They can listen to it.
So are we talking about the court?
Yes.
Okay.
The pre-trial stuff that has Jamie McCracken on it, and Carl has the Kimberly Bell from the Department of Justice, I guess it is. Yeah, because Galaxy and I talked about it, I think on the last stream, wasn't it, Galaxy, about how McCracken seemed like he kind of knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he seemed pretty intelligent.
And he's still holding firm, right? Like he's still steadfast. He's still doing it.
Supposedly he's appealed to the New Mexico Supreme Court. Now, I haven't looked any of that up, but it doesn't show on the court case stuff as of the docket that, the estate versus McCracken. It's not showing on there.
So do you think our friend that started this whole court stuff. Now, Forrest said that he went to court once, and it was when his friend got into a car accident and he like hurt his back or something. And Forrest was a professional witness saying that this held this guy up from painting so many pictures that go for this much money, and this is how much he should sue for.
Hmm.
And it's interesting that he said that. How did he explain what a professional was? Remember his explanation of what you just need to know a little bit about something or something like that. You
Yeah.
just know a little bit about something and you're a professional. And it's funny that, there's people are, and that's so spot on true. Like people know a little bit of, and they act like they're professionals. I don't know, but it's funny how that associated with the court stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's like what story has been spoken that hasn't played out yet? I mean, let's try to predict something. Like
Mhm.
let's all do some homework and be like, I bet the next move or within the next 3 narrative pushes or moves, it's going to be on this topic.
Yeah.
This was prominent in the books and it hasn't shown up yet.
Hmm.
So I know there's one is when that one lady needed some money and Forrest said, hey, be an abstract painter. And she, started making a living, and something about her husband, Fred, was under a pile of rocks. Like, let's wait to see if in the next few steps, there's going to be something about a woman, let's say an entrepreneur, because that's what that lady became, and having or being spiteful towards a dead husband or
Yeah.
whatever that was. You know the scenario I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It would be fun to see that play out in real life now. Like, what other stories is there? I mean, we've got, well, Sloan getting hit by a bus, which I think played out like 3 weeks ago, but that one kind of flew by. Rainy days, the girls not knowing anything behind the counter. I don't know. Think of a story that you think might play out, Brian. That would fit.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? Huh.
Do you
I
have something, Galaxy? I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. I just don't I hate to throw them all out there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but it would be interesting though to see if somebody can guess the next narrative. Like,
So I haven't talked to you recently, I don't think, but the olive jar guy, John Collins Black.
I never paid attention to it.
Okay. So I guess it wasn't you, it was Galaxy I was talking to.
Yeah.
So do you remember the little thing on Google Earth I showed you guys? The little trick without
God,
giving it away. Do you remember?
no, I don't remember. I remember you showing it to us though.
Yeah. Yeah. So so that little trick on Google Earth, how you can just drop right in unannounced, so to speak. I connected the dots to a place called Zenlens. So I've shared that with Galaxy, but I didn't share it with you, I don't think, Stuffy. I hope I don't get a copy strike for your Gatorade bottle up there. Or at least I hope we get maybe some endorsements by Gatorade.
Don't count on it.
So nothing, Jason? He went mute.
Oh.
He went mute on us. I must have shook him up.
Must be.
So how long have we been on? I haven't even been paying attention. I'm sorry, people have not been paying attention to the chat. I'm not good at this, as you can tell. So A Whisperer says, maybe the story hasn't been written yet. So therefore we cannot predict the end. I like that. And I've kind of been saying that all along. I don't think what we've been given is possibly the right ending. Now, we do have a chest that sold at Heritage. We can't deny that. There was a chest at Heritage that sold. Was that the chest? All those coins in there. They minted millions of each one of those coins. It's possible that he could easily get 2 of each coin. Now you come down to the gold nuggets. Okay, well, I'm just going to throw this out there. What if Forrest, he was a forager. He knew how to melt metal down and make molds. Is it possible he could have perfected melting down gold into a mold where he's got 2 nuggets exactly the same? I'm not an expert. I'm just throwing it out there. We know there was several chests. I don't know if there was 3 or not. Some people have said there was 3. I'm pretty sure there was at least 2, I know. I mean, what do you think, Galaxy? I mean, it's kind of like the dragon bracelet. If somebody made 1 of those, do you think it's possible they made 2 of those? I mean, that's the way I feel. You back, Galaxy? Looks like you dropped off.
Yeah. Yeah, it kicked me out right when you were talking about the gold nugget molds.
I mean, A Whisperer says Shiloh only said 1 chest. Have you heard that? I didn't know he said 1 chest.
Yeah, well, when is he said that?
I don't know when he said that. I don't think he's ever said there was only 1 chest. I mean, and let's say if there was just only 1 chest, which I'm willing to accept that, and I'm not really arguing against 9 Mile Hole. I just think everything that's played out is very suspect. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
maybe I know Nomatica Films. If you look up Nomatica Films. So there is a John Collin that's linked to Nomatica Films. Is this John Collin? John Collins Black? That's what I'm curious about. So I don't know. I'm just curious.
My audio cut out for a minute there, so I missed a little bit of what you said. But
Oh, mine did.
no, for me, it like
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of muted you for a minute.
Are you all having storms or anything?
No, nothing right now.
Yeah, we've had some. It's kind of let up now. It's not doing anything now. Thought I might have
But
internet problems.
Shiloh could say that there's only 1, but he could also not know himself. You know, the whole story is he took it with him, right? Nobody
Yeah,
knew.
yeah.
So, what if that is all true too? And he's only talking about the one that is still hidden.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying I'm right either, Brian. I'm with you where I could totally agree that Jack was the soul finder and it's all over and there was only 1. But I can't deny certain things. So I just want to keep my my mind open to my imagination open to what could be possible. Like I said earlier, he cast
So,
bronze for
hey,
30 years,
Whistler,
making exact copies.
yeah, it's
He
very
talks
possible
about
he made his own copies.
he talks about fraud in the book.
Yeah.
He talks about two of everything a lot. He in the same sentence said he didn't want anyone to have the chest, and then he'll say that he wants somebody to find it.
Mhm.
He also said like, I wouldn't change a thing if he had a second chance at life. And then he also said, well, I'd change everything.
So a whisperer saying that Shiloh had sent an email to a searcher.
Well, I guess it just depends on who the searcher is.
He sent an email to a searcher that said that.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, and Shiloh said there is not a second treasure. Sorry, he did not say chest. So she's saying treasure. Okay, then you got to define treasure is defined differently than a chest. So he said there's not a second treasure, but he didn't say chest. So I will go back to when this all started on June 6th. What did Forrest say? The treasure has been found.
And all that was third party.
What did Dale say? He said the chest has been found.
Yeah, but that's a telephone game.
Yes. Two different things.
Yeah. And everything's third party.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is old world, new world. All right. All of, well, even my age group, I'm 47. I feel like I'm in between the old and the new world right now. Anyone younger than me, they have no idea what I've experienced in the old world, where a lot of people are older than me that grew up there. Like everything is different now. And especially after COVID, it seems like it's a whole new world now. And like a Mandela effect almost.
Yeah.
But when I was saying, like the 17 people or the 18 searchers that jumped in at 18 and 19, and those are like new world searchers. And they've been on this thing ever since. They've been part of the, just grasping to the court stuff, the Jack Soof stuff. Like they're really getting into that. And I never really did. I stuck with the old world,
Yeah.
and it's like a lot of this stuff, like I have no idea. Like
I know you and I've discussed that,
Yeah.
that my path is a little bit different than yours. Neither one of us is right and neither one of us is wrong. It kind of goes back to this, Jason. What did I learn from the audio CD from the hearings, the pretrial hearings? Well, I learned that McCracken asked for not just Jack and Forrest emails, he asked for two other people's emails, one of them being Dale's. Why didn't we get any of those emails? Okay, that's a mystery. Mystery one, no Dale emails released, only Jack's. Oh, and by the way, the other person he asked for, those don't get released either. So, A, McCracken never got them. B, they're hiding them. Which one is it? We don't know. It's a mystery. Here's the other thing we learned that I learned from the audio CD is because of the Barbara Anderson case, the emails between Jack and Forrest after the find became privileged. That's why we can't see those. Here's another thing. Do they even exist? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm just saying, I don't understand all the dadgum mystery. Why it has to be that freaking hard. I mean, I was thinking about this. So the Benjamin Franklin saying is 3 can keep a secret if two are dead. Forrest saying is 2 people can keep a secret if 1 is dead. Well, right now, you've got probably over 100 people keeping secrets, and nobody's dead. So, well, that's assuming that 100 people are in on this. So now I'm starting to sound delusional.
No, because I think it's funny. Like, so for him, what's the word? Anonymity?
Yeah.
Anonymity? To keep his anonymity, yet have people, faithful searchers that will work for free, given a little, so they're like the professionals.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about.
And then they believe, like they fall into their own egotistical self-indulgence to believe that they are all-knowing. I don't know. It's just so weird. I there's some people, Brian, that I've thought that I've pegged like years and years and years and years ago, like, oh, Team Finn.
Yeah.
Just because they would know certain things. But then when they get on their rant about their solve, like you literally see them morph into this very serious, like demon just talking about their solve, and it's raw. And I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, how could they know something that is like, in my eyes, like pretty precise? Like,
Mhm.
but then they fall into this like tunnel of, you know, and the only conclusion I could come up with that is that they actually buy into their own shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
start, yeah. So it's like Forrest give you a little hint to throw out to the public. You think you're ahead. It kind of lines up with your stuff. And then I feel as though there's a lot of searchers from 19 to now that got caught in that trap.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be loyal servants of Team Fit. And not saying they are, I don't know this by any fact,
Mhm.
but the way it, as as an audience, it just seems like they're there for a reason. It's the timing is right, the topic is right. I don't care if it's dramatic, I don't care what it is. It could be here to muddy the water, it could be here to do whatever. But then this obsessive, like, I'm right about my solve comes out. And it's like
Yeah.
a tail end, And it's like, it's so fucking weird. It is so weird watching people morph in front of you.
Oh yeah. Then that's yeah. I haven't ever divulged myself. So Lucky Digger says maybe there were no Dale emails on his computer. So okay, let's say there was no Dale emails on Forrest's computer. Don't you think that's a little odd? There was only Jack emails. What about the other person that McCracken asked for? Were all those deleted too? I mean, I'm not buying that.
Once I caught wind of the computer jackasses that hack into your crap, and I literally asked Forrest, can you please delete our emails? Like I did, like on my own stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, please delete. And yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, in asking that, some of my emails in conversation were deleted too on my side, which I thought were odd. But then I thought, at what level of power could that happen? almost the same level as Whisperer talking about her email getting jumbled around.
Right.
And I've heard several other searchers saying, my emails are missing from Forrest. Where'd they go? I mean, we
Yeah, I don't know. Like a Digger says, I think Zoe probably deleted a lot of things on his computer. Well, that's pretty suspect if you ask me. They have every right. I have nothing against the family at all. Nothing, zero. I'm just here following the little breadcrumbs that I think I need to follow. And if that means digging into the court stuff, then that's what I'm going to do. If that means digging into old articles, what I have found out, emailing these people, you'll get one response from them if you're lucky. And after that first one, you can pretty much figure they're going to clam up. Now, to me, that's really saying something. I mean, if everything was on the up and up, which I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying if that's a possibility, then why don't these people, why are they so afraid to talk? Especially the ones from like 2011, 2012, 2013. I mean, I emailed somebody, got in contact with somebody, and asked them about the cancer fund. And the reply I got back was, "Oh, I think that was all taken care of." How do you, where's your information coming from, people? Where did you draw that conclusion? Just out of thin air? Because that is part of the chase. A cancer fund was set up to help people. And we have zero answers for that.
It was for a minority kid that needed some help.
And how do you know this?
Oh, where was that? I'm pretty sure lowercase ff said it in Lorene Mills' interview.
Okay, that's okay, but how many years was a chase going on where they were selling books? You see where I'm getting at?
No, I get you. And
I hate to be that kind of person that's gonna question things like that. I know I'm going to get ridiculed for it. And that's okay.
you're wondering where the money's at.
There's questions that haven't been answered.
I don't think
And
that.
I'm supposed to just walk away and take somebody's word for it.
But that's where you find your answers, is you follow
It's
them
kind of
up.
like a whisperer saying that somebody got an email from Shiloh. I mean, come on now.
Exactly, Brian. I'm with
am I
you.
supposed to roll over dead and just, okay, I need to go away? No, I'm not going to go away. I got into this thing on a spiritual journey, my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
In this ending, let me tell
Ruined
you,
it. Ruined it.
this ending, no, it didn't ruin it. This ending happened on my birthday, June 6th. Turned 55. Double sixes, double 20s, double 55.
Brian, calm down. Take a breath.
So, yeah.
You're turning red, Brian.
It's not just about me. It's about everybody else. I can't imagine how somebody like you or some of these other people have been around since 2011, 2012, 2013.
Dude, it has been. And these are the days of our lives. This is a big production, and I sit down and I watch my soap opera. That's what this is to me.
Amy Gwynn says, question it all. Well, I consider and question it all. It's probably not going to get me anywhere, but it doesn't mean I can't question it.
Well, they'll say that, Brian Gates, you're not owed anything. Like it's just that simple.
And I agree with that 120%. I totally agree with that.
What?
The man said it's up to the solver. It's out of my hands before it was found. He never promised anything to anybody. And so I agree. I agree. Not one person is owed an explanation, is not owed anything
I
because
disagree. I
they
disagree.
continued to play the game after that was announced. When that was announced, if you didn't like those rules, you should have quit. He literally said those words, and people still played and chose to forget that. Sorry, Galaxy.
I disagree.
Did he say that?
Oh,
Is-
I think yeah, he's definitely said that one
And
way or more.
yeah, so how is anybody entitled to anything when he said that? I don't.
Not saying they're entitled to it. I just think it's
It's shitty, but yet it was in the rules. It's just a shitty rule. He did say it though, so it's like okay, so I could play with no resolution. It's up to the finder if there's a resolution or not. Okay, that's weird, but that's your choice to continue from that point.
what when did he say that though? Did he say it after people started
No,
dying?
he has said that like, oh fuck, I bet he said it a few times in a few different ways, like you said, between 16 and 19
After people have already been dying. So
after all of it.
so what if there's something that he's covering up that he don't want people to know? Maybe that's the whole reason why he's ever said that.
Well, I mean, in some ways, I can kind of agree with you because he told Lorraine Mills that he hopes nobody figures out who he is. Okay. That means that he is ashamed of something in the back. And is that not kind of the way it works when, and this is just me, okay? But I remember when I was really young, I dated a girl that worked at an old folks home, and in the middle of the night, they will confess their sins because they are on their deathbed and they will yell it through the hallway. Okay. So, like, I hope that nobody could figure out who I really am. I agree, there might be. And maybe this is a nonchalant way of him yelling into the dark hallway, because death was at his door.
Can you guys hear me now?
We heard you.
Yeah.
I lost connection, so
No, I once I don't think I'm owed anything. Like I don't. It would be nice to get some resolution, but at the same time, fuck this. I could watch reruns to this to the day I die. you know, it, it was my favorite show for quite a while, and now I get away from it because a different writer showed up. Don't you hate it when you're watching a series and you could tell when that writer got fired and a different one stepped in? And it's like, damn it, a new writer in the chase. Fuck. And I don't like any of the topics, and they're lame, and they contradict themselves. They like, oh, it's Jack for sure. Here, I'm right here with him. Oh, wait, it wasn't Jack. Like the writers don't even have their story straight. Like, but I think it's the ultimate goal is the definition of Finn is muddy ball, and this is muddy water we're caught in. That's what I think. So we're caught in the fin, my friends.
yeah,
Shit's getting deep. Get your waders on and wait there.
yeah. Well, I just want to emphasize I'm not owed anything. Somebody here put on here, why do people's thoughts always turn to some kind of wrongdoing? Hmm. Why do people's thoughts always turn to some kind of wrongdoing?
That's a good question. That's like almost like reflection on yourself kind of question.
Well, and I'll throw that back. It's not a reflection on me, it's a reflection on the rest of the community. You know, I was warned about the drama. I was warned. So, you know, there was games being played. So, yeah, I've done my own reflection. And I know exactly what that reflection is. You know, the real treasure is sitting right in front of me. It's friends like you, it's people like this in the chat. It's my family, my wife, my kids, my grandkids. That's the real treasure.
And we all have to admit we put them on the back burner for this. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. You're right there. And I did for a short time.
We are all guilty of it.
Yeah.
Every single person is.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe that could have been the lesson learned. Maybe he
Right.
was chasing the buck for so long, and then it started getting too late, and now his kids don't come to visit him. You know,
Mhm.
like
So he had to give us an empty feeling.
only the ones that stuck around and dwelled on it.
Oh, I mean, cool. I didn't sign up for that, but it's his special spot is so important, huh? I'm just saying, think of how many hours have been
I
wasted.
I
What could be that important? Like what in your life, like what could be that important that you're not going to throw in the towel because a couple people died? You're not going to throw in the towel because people are stalking you outside where you have to call the cops. Like what would be that important to you to not throw in the towel? Let this happen.
well, it's pretty simple for me. Like I said before I dropped off a while ago, I'm from the show me state. I get it honest.
Mhm.
I grew up going to school. I wasn't very good at school, but I took all the hard classes. I could have took woodworking. I could have taken uh, um, what are some of those other courses?
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, something like that. No, I took geometry, algebra 2, physics, biology. Did I do any good at those? No. But I pushed myself to at least take those classes. So, I mean, that's part of what school is to learn the answers. You're learning answers to life at an early age. Some people think that you're being reformed. Well, I have to argue different. I have to argue different on that. But I think it's if you fight it, it could look like that. But I was just geared that way to try to find the answers, even if I had to work hard at it. So I'm with Galaxy. I didn't sign up for it to end this way. Now,
But when he said it's over, the chase is over.
but are you talking, when did he say that? Are you talking about the December email to Dale? Or are you talking about June? Which one are you talking about?
Shit, I don't. I
Well,
took the word.
I'm just saying there's two different variations of that. The chase is over. We didn't hear the chase was over until June 6th.
He always had it. He always had an ace in his pocket. He could go and retrieve it.
Yeah, yeah.
What
It
does
did,
that what does that translate to? I could go and stop the chase. I could go and just go get it myself. He
He
even
could have just he could have randomly picked Jack.
well, but so like, and he said that early on too. Like that's early on. Or
Yeah.
no, that was actually at the bookstore in Taos, I think. But I don't know. But even that right there, I continued to play the game after I heard him say that. Shit, I'm playing a game where he could just throw his hands up in the air and say, it's over. And I continued to play. It's almost like, what is that called before you do a video? You put a disclaimer out.
Mhm.
Like he has legal disclaimers on this whole path. Even the Jack thing legally is legit. So you take a third party that has no idea about the chase. Okay, what's the judge going to look at? Well, here's a picture of a dude, and right there's an article saying he found it with Forrest saying he found it. Case
Mhm.
closed.
Yeah.
Legally, that's done and over. Legally, the
Yeah.
people that are really into it, they see the small details. The devil is in the details.
Mhm.
So it's like they pick it apart, but yet legally the chase is over. Forrest personally said the chase is over. And then all these newcomers come in 18, 19, 20, and now this is what we're ended up with. It just seems convenient. And now they're saying like you last another 6 months, 3 years. Like, come on. Like at that point, it's getting a bit ridiculous, Like,
Well, supposedly Ben says we only have 4 or 5 months left.
yeah, but of what? Of the new thing? Like like I don't care. I didn't sign up for the new thing. I signed up for the older one. And when the man said it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
And so the new stuff is like, it's just dramatic. This is total millennial shit is what this is.
Yeah.
Like, apologize to all you millennials. And I can't talk too much shit because, well, I'm a father of a millennial. So it's basically, I'm part of the problem for raising lazy fucks.
Yeah.
People that would rather talk it to death than actually just get it done.
Well, it's kind of nice. I've been on for over an hour, so I get paid.
Yeah, I never got a check from Greg from being on Bill's show that night. Throwing that out there. Don't anyone get like conned on that one. I didn't get my check yet. It's supposedly in the mail.
Now you're higher up in the food chain than that.
No, I'm not anywhere in the food chain. I am the pile of shit when the food chain has halted.
Yeah. So, yeah. Mm.
I agree, though. When you kind of look at it from the outside, he probably increased his wealth by doing what he did. I know he says he didn't make any money off the book, but
The town of Santa Fe is still making money. The hotel ratings, there's still a percentage of searchers that get them. A lot of the businesses are profiting still from that. When you go down there to go searching, you can't tell me you're not going to grab something to eat, get some authentic food. Oh, look at their knickknacks, blah, 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 blah. If I were to look for answers, I go to the city, what is that called? The city commerce or whatever, and see what public records are on owners of most of those businesses that, you know what I mean? They're all profiting in a way.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be funny if there was like a common thread between the businesses? You know, maybe that's why he got that key, because on average of all the businesses that profited, not just the hotel strand, which is coincidence that daddy started hotels in Yellowstone. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of research that I enjoy doing. It's I still say that the Finn Haven up there is a different building. Like I tried to show the crew that was up there with us, like, hey, I seen pictures of the actual old Finn Haven, and
Mhm.
that looks kind of like it right there. I was just pushing.
Before I forget about it, I was gonna say hello, Bill. Sorry I didn't mention you earlier. Treasure Poem, Nomadic Madman. I remember you from the Finn finale. We sat next to each other there. Um,
Oh,
Not to interrupt you, sorry.
no, you're good. I just remember that. Oh, I think okay, Larry said that he did not put his family on hold for the chase.
Well, he
Yeah,
said
I'm not guilty of that, Jason.
he,
And and you know what?
uh,
You're better off because I feel horrible for it. Like
yeah.
I mean, I just literally took 3 years, 4 years, 5 years away from my little kids.
Mhm.
You know, bedtime stories that missed out. Just tons of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I got so into Google Earth maps that I became part of them. Like,
Mhm.
Hey, we're all still wasting time.
that's another thing is I don't have a future anymore, dude. Like I cannot imagine myself in a month compare. You know what I mean? I don't have a foresight of my own life anymore.
Well, Jason, you said something earlier. I didn't get a chance to comment on, but you said I signed up for the first one, not to the second one, if that's what they're pushing.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'll go a step farther and say, give me the answers to the first one. How about that?
He said he's not going to.
Why is it taking 3 years?
He point blank said he's not going to. He point blank said it's up to the finder. It's out of my hands. I don't want to deal with it.
Well, that story changed supposedly over the years because I wasn't in it I wasn't in the beginning. Now, it's like when I read TTOTC for the first time, and he's talking about the Ralph Lauren story. And at that point in time, I stopped for a second. And I said, this all may not be real.
Hey, you should listen to your gut.
It could be a lure to get you out in the wilderness.
Are you talking about Chase or what's going on now?
The
Since
chase, the chase.
okay, all right.
I mean, I remember reading it and stopping for a minute. First time I read it and said, interesting.
Maybe this is his. I don't know how to say it. Like his book of fiction. There's nothing against that. There's nothing illegal of that.
Hmm.
And the word treasure can be a metaphor for anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have a problem with like today's world on the way the law is written. And they use that against us. They have you ever heard of crisis actors?
Yeah.
So we're caught in it, man. Like whoever hasn't heard of crisis actors, look them up. It's amazing. Amazing how these actors are put in as EMTs, firefighters, police officers, you know what I mean, to create a scenario to lead the mass.
Hmm.
And come on now, Justin Posey's, he's Justin Posian. Like it's funny that his dog's name was Tucker, and it was all about the Fox, and now we got Fox News, and Tucker got fired, and blah 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 blah. I predict that he's going to take and run for president myself. But and it's all lies. And that with the fishing flies, all right? Them fucking fishing flies. Capital F, F is for fake. Capital F. So we got Forrest for F, right?
Yeah.
lies. The flies. They're Forrest's lies.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on that.
That's saying quite a bit, though. That to me was a treasure map also. When I saw that. Well, I did a video on that too.
Especially when he got the flies and his first car was a bug. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I,
sorry, Galaxy.
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's over either, but I think it's over. So here, and you guys let me know if you have experienced the same things. Okay. Long time ago, like on Greg's show or some shit. Like I remember I was talking about like you can go in your backyard and make treasure homework. And you can. Okay. They have to be those words, them exact words, and you have to use all of them. Okay, so a lot of those words are very vague. They've got thousands of meanings for every word. Maybe there's like so many different scenarios that you could come up with. Like it was an architectural system. And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't talk about that stuff, but I'm just saying I agree with how some people are saying that it led each individual to where they had to go. I am on board with that. Okay. I really am. It's just that some people would pick up a rock, make that second trip, and put something of their own personal item there. That's their resolution. That's their conclusion. That makes them at peace. They know they have something somewhere. Maybe they'll get a phone call someday of someone that found it, and they sit back and wait and listen. Like I think that's kind of something of value to take away from it, is that you find your own ending place. And I've heard other YouTubers talk about it, and like I said, I agree totally with them because my scenario is like that. The journey that I went on, when it's separated from the herd, it has nothing to do with anything to do with Forrest Fenn stuff anymore. But going back to doing it in your yard, have any of you guys ever taken and like use that poem as a structure for life almost? Like in some area, some scenarios in your life, it fits that poem in a way where you just let go of your own thoughts and you let your intuition kick in because it's the right thing to do at that right moment. And then those times you do that no matter where you're at. I have been able to find something, a blaze. A blaze is something that's not supposed to be there. It's out of the ordinary. Something was left there by someone else. It could be, anything really, but it's something that shouldn't be there. Now that's cool. And that's the kick I got on with the chase. And that's where I tell thank you to Forrest, because I reached a level to where anywhere I go, if I get that little itch, I just submit to it. You know what I mean? And it'll lead you somewhere fun and exciting. And then you shit your pants and you're like, holy fuck, someone else is way out here because they left something there. And it could be anything, it doesn't have to be worth money. It's just following other the footsteps, right? It's the lure. It lured you in, is what I'm getting at. And you can let that lure.
That's where I'm different from a lot of people. It didn't lure me in.
Yeah.
It was something that told me I needed to do it.
When you say lure, what are you talking about? Because I'm saying chumming the waters through some blood and shark infested waters, like it lured them in.
No, it didn't lure me in that way.
Okay, yeah, but that's what I mean by when I say that. I'm like,
So do you
like,
remember my story?
Yeah. Somewhat. Yeah.
So I went with some friends of ours, Memorial Weekend. Well, speaking of Memorial Weekend, hey, happy Memorial Weekend, everybody, for this next weekend. So on a Friday evening, Memorial Weekend 2019, friends of ours, we decided to go out and eat. We went to the Park restaurant. That's when it all started. Had a couple of beers, sat down, had some food, and started feeling a little weird. I was like, okay, something's not right. I didn't know if it was I just got a bug or maybe the food didn't sit with me quite right. But anyway, by the time we got ready to leave, we were supposed to go to the axe house. So we are going to throw some axes. And by the time we walked out, I told my wife, I was like, okay, I don't feel good at all. Something's not right. I mean, I feel like I'm going to hurl at any point, at any time. So I said, but let's just go on to the axe house. Let's just see how this goes. So we get there, we walk in, and my wife looks at me and she goes, oh my gosh, you're white as a ghost. And I said, yeah, and I feel like it. I feel like anytime something's going to happen. So
That freaking axe house, of course.
So So we go in and they get situated, and I just make a beeline to the bathroom. Yeah, let's just say I lost everything I ate that evening.
Both ends.
No, on both ends. Don't make the story worse than what it is. Anyway, so I suffered through the axe throwing for my friends, put a good face on. And soon as we got out of there, got to the parking lot, looked at my wife. I said, sorry, Chris and Christine, but we've got to go. So, of course, I decided to drive, which is the stupidest thing. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was my wife driving. I don't remember now. Anyway, no sooner than we got in the car, backed out, headed out of the parking lot. I'm like, stop, pull over. Sure enough, there I go again. Getting sick again. So that evening was probably the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. I mean, it was like every 10 minutes, just nonstop all night long. And I remember telling my wife, asking her, I said, what the hell is going on? And she's like, well, you must have got food poisoning. I said, no, it feels something different than food poisoning. I don't know what, this is crazy. So anyway, the next morning comes, I'm feeling a little bit better. And I just took the whole day off on Saturday. By the time Sunday rolled around, I had this thought, said, I need to get out that poem. Wait a minute, why do I need to get out the poem for? I haven't even thought about this thing. Why now? Why is this so important now? And I couldn't wait to get to a spot where I could print that thing out and start working on it. So that's where I'm at, because where I started and where I ended up. So I ended up on June 6th with the same couple, mind you, the night it was announced.
Maybe you should choose your friends better.
No, they're part of the story.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're part of the story. They know this. But so that's why I'm still here. I know where I started and where I ended and how it all happened. Now, in between there, it didn't take me long to realize, because my wife is a collector of owls. We've always had this saying for many years. I gave her a necklace that said, I love you to the moon and back. So whatever happened in that, not only did I take her to an owl, the owl rock. Everybody knows about this. You've seen my videos. I've talked about it many times. The old hoot owl. Not in a million years did I ever thought that I would end up there. And it's kind of like the bird in the moon. When I found that, at first it didn't hit me until I realized, wait a minute, that's just one piece of the puzzle. So all along, my journey was telling me that my wife, my family, and everyone around me was more important than finding that treasure. But the caveat is, I'm a kind of person who likes to have the answers to things. Maybe I'll never get the answers. Maybe it's all out on faith. I mean, I used to put that in the chat all the time. It's faith and destiny. So
I agree with you there 100%.
yeah.
Destiny is a huge part of this.
So I've shared this. I've been on Bear and Findy's channel once, and I shared a little bit about this. But
So
so I feel for Galaxy. I feel for all these people that don't have answers because I'm kind of like them. Do I have to have the answer? No. But here's the thing: don't leave me on the line. Just say you're not going to get answers. Don't pretend like there's answers coming in 6 to 9 months.
my point is all of them answers in 6 to 9 months are third party.
You're right. You're right. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. It's kind of like
I am into the telephone game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we sit here and discuss the telephone game
Yeah.
like it's facts.
Yeah. When we don't know, it's all conjecture.
I would like to know after old boy said, yep, it's done. Who was it that said, but we could spin this off into this though? Who's that person?
Are you talking about the treasure hunt?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's done, it's found.
Well, there was many of them.
But there had to be a ringleader that was like, but wait. I mean, was
Yeah.
it Dal? I mean, there's a lot of communication with Dal there.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. The biggest gator of them all, huh? Yeah,
Isn't it funny?
What?
Yeah, I just find it funny that the guy that found it for some reason won't say where it's at. Really, no reason why, right? And then Forrest won't say where it's at because it's up to the guy that found it, right? And then you got Dale, who's going against the narrative, basically implying that it's been pulled or it was going to be ended.
So hypothetically, Galaxy, hypothetically, let's say the special spot is the cure to cancer. Okay. But in the wrong hands, because everything has an equal negative side to it. Cure of cancer, very positive. What's the very negative other side? So if the wrong people gather that info and weaponized it, you see what I mean? There's some scenarios out there that are better just left unsaid because it could be used for evil. I know it went out there a little far, but I was just trying to simplify it.
I got one for you. What if the whole reason why we haven't heard the actual truth is because there was a trick to it? And I'm not saying it was in Santa Fe, but what if, what if it was some place it wasn't supposed to be?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure.
Well, that's kind of like the whole narrative with Yellowstone. I mean, I'm with a lot of people. Do you really
Yeah, but
think?
that's still out in nature. Like I'm saying, what if it wasn't even out in nature? What if it was someplace he thought about these places and it was just like a park bench, you know? So basically he was leading all these people out into the wilderness and,
I
either legally it would open them up to lawsuits if the truth ever came out.
so it's
You know,
interesting you said park bench galaxy.
what?
It's interesting you said park bench. A park bench. It's interesting you said that. Like
I
that
knew that would get you.
well, yeah. No, I mean it's interesting because I literally sat on a park bench to Marvel Gaze. And it's just funny that you just randomly picked that. Kind of like the Stumpy and Olive Jar thing. Complete coincidence. Huh. Yeah. Can I
Well, there's
tell? Can I tell?
That's why I don't think it's right. People say, you don't deserve anything or you're entitled, but if it is something like that, I think we all deserve to know.
And I don't think you should take it negative. And it's not that you don't deserve it. It's nothing to do with that. It's I don't think it's a negative. I mean, I just take words for what they are. And when the man said it's over, or the man said, hey, it's up to this person, he literally said, hey, you're not going to find out unless this guy wants to talk, and I'm not going to make him. And I continued to play, knowing that. And I don't go with the third party talk gibberish, scuttlebug throughout the chase, because that's all it is scuttlebug.
You
But
know,
like,
if I was him though, I feel like I would do something to make that happen, even if it came out of my pocket. Having to pay Jack, $500,000 to do it, or
I hate Shy Guy. Why you calling me out, Shy Guy?
I'm just saying, I think there could have been a way to ease everybody's mind. Not even one clue. We didn't even get to hear any confirmation
You
on
know,
one damn thing.
if the old boy was alive, I would like to ask him. I don't. If I were to ask him a question now, and he would give me a straight answer, are all the clues in the 4 states, or can I start anywhere in the world? That's the one thing that's never been answered. Like, that's the one thing that's never been clearly answered. Everything else has.
I understand where you're coming from. So my search spot. It's interesting you say that, because I found a match of the area in a different state that's not a search state,
Yeah.
which, mind you, has very finny. I'm trying to use the right words. Put it this way: it's very finny. Someday I will share with you in Galaxy,
Yeah.
because that is my ultimate goal. That's the only reason why I've been holding on for so long, and I haven't shared it.
Spill the beans, Mr. Gates.
Only to you.
Spill that beautiful bean footage.
Only you two, and it's going to be documented. So,
Aw. Well,
but I like what you're saying there.
Alex,
I like where you were going with that
yeah.
because I didn't know it until, and this come from my grandson, mind you, who was only four at the time. I think he was only, he's going to be 7. So he would have been 4, I think 4 or 5. And he clued me into that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was in a different state. It was not a search state. So yeah, I like, that's a pretty good question. I mean, why did he talk about California a lot?
And Florida.
Florida,
No, I mean,
Texas.
but that's the one thing. I've heard people wonder that in the past, but no one has ever gotten a straight answer from the old boy.
Yeah.
No.
Why is he sending everybody north of Santa Fe?
Oh, well, I mean, associations. When did he use the word north? And how did he use it? Because maybe you're supposed to use it in the same way that he had already used it previously. Because the way that he used it previously was not what you would expect. So maybe he reran that idea because he thought it was clever. So think real hard, and where else did he use the word north in a weird way?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
Galaxy?
I mean, I think there's something south. That's all I'm saying.
Eric Sloan was just north of him on age.
Yeah. Talking about it. Yeah. I remember that now.
That's a weird way to use a directional.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to wasn't he asked which way is the blaze facing?
He never took a radio out of it.
Yes. So my understanding of that was north, looking right up at you. I'm north of Google Earth looking down at it.
Yeah, I thought of that too. That was a common thought.
Yeah, that was a common thought. Yeah.
And which is very legitimate. I mean, fuck,
Yeah.
Even Greg used that one.
Yeah. Well, and I've also stated that too, that there's something on Google Earth next to my Owl Rock that I've been there. I don't know what caused it. It's a fitting thing too. It's a stick figure. Pure and simple. I've used it for my little emoji on, or what do you call that? Not emoji, but your
Background.
little symbol for your YouTube avatar.
Oh, yeah.
I've used it for my avatar many times.
And yes, Greg, I'm charging every time I say your name. Invoice will be in the mail. There's no free plugs around here.
So yeah, we all have we might never get the answers.
And I don't know what this shy guy, Frank guy, is saying. He's saying something about Jason. I don't know who Jason is.
Come on, Jason. Not tone deaf. People know your voice. I guess he's referring to Galaxy or Stumpy. Stumpy?
Dude, Stumpy is my Christian name.
Yeah, can we knock that off? Really? I don't think you're fooling even one person.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You have a distinct voice, my friend.
Oh, I was gonna pull a dick move. I'll tell you later, Galaxy.
Oh,
I was gonna pull a good dick move there. Oh yeah, that's high five worthy. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Thank you.
All right. I feel as though I've said too much. You staying on? I'm gonna bounce.
You didn't say enough.
Oh yeah. We've got 3 years.
I mean, you're totally suspect. So
I am not suspect of shit. I have no gold coins. I have nothing. I am just some guy.
so I've got a question for you. Have you
And it's
so
not Stumpy, it's Stoompai.
where's Jens at?
Talking to Galaxy? Because I don't know Jens.
Yeah,
know
you
who-
do. You know everybody.
So you remember I said Zens? Funny, Jens.
Did you know that you can buy Zens at Casey's General Store and they're pure nicotine chew packets instead of tobacco?
Didn't know that.
They're called Zens.
Zen Lens.
I love the story of Lillian Gish. You know, she had her gloved hand on and she's like, Lillian Gish. Oh my God, I recognize you. And her putting the eye droplets in her eyes because Forrest Fenn started losing his eyesight at 45, had to wear glasses. How do you have 20/20 vision? Oh, my mama told me to put some eye drops in my eyes every day because they dry up like a grape. You know, those stories are what I tuned into. I really enjoyed them.
I think a lot of times Forrest heard stories and improvised
Oh,
those
yeah.
stories.
He stole so many stories.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what makes Forrest Forrest.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a I'm a big admirer of him because, you know, I've tried to with my younger generation in my family, meaning my grandson and my nephews, get them to appreciate when you find something, jot that down, where you were at, the date, remember that place and time where you were at. You know, I wished I had done that because there's a lot of things that, that I found or did. And I'm like, man, when was that? It's like finding arrowheads right in my backyard back here.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah.
It's kind of like finding this treasure at the antique mall.
Yeah. See?
Nobody appreciated it. I let it sit there for 2 years. I'm like, no, I'm gonna buy that.
I've got an item like that I've been watching too. I refuse to buy it because it's so stupid, but I feel as though it's so legit. So
So what I want to do is get some close-up pictures of this. I'm going to share them because it's interesting. Some of the art that's on here matches some of the art that's on the piece from San Lazaro.
oh my God, you're not lining up the cracks, are you? Jeez.
So
You're comparing scales.
So I find that quite interesting that one is 700 years old, which is what I think is what I was told on this, versus this one that was 2,000 years old. So
I guess it's just in some people's nature to dig. Like that's
I always was a digger. I mean, I always out. I enjoyed nature. I mean, my grandparents. So my grandparents on my mom's side, they were big fisherwoman. Anyway, my grandma, she liked going
Anglers.
snack. What's that?
Anglers.
Anglers. There you go. Good, Galaxy. They were anglers. You're right. That's the perfect word right there. So my grandma, what she liked fishing for was spoonbill, which is you go snagging to catch them. They're anywhere from 3 to 7 foot long, 3 foot to 7 foot long.
Oh, grandma.
Yeah, grandma. And we'd get up at about 3:30 in the morning, head down to the Lake of the Ozarks below the dam, and we would always had breakfast between about 3:30, 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4:30, between 3:30 and 4:30. We'd have breakfast. And I remember being young thinking, my gosh, why does this breakfast taste so good at this time of the morning? But it did. And but we'd go down below the dam there at Lake of the Ozarks and go snagging. And then my grandpa in the summertime, he was more of the trout, the crappie, the catfish. He was a manager of one of the lakes in Mexico, Missouri. And he would we'd put jugs out for catfish. And then he didn't own a boat. I think he did have a boat, but it was just a little John boat. And it was just there at the pond. He had 2 ponds on the farm there. But we would just bank fish. And I remember looking back on that, how much I appreciated just sitting there on the bank, chilling out, with your grandfather, just having a good old time.
Yep, I warned my little one that time is coming for her soon. School is out next week.
Yeah.
I said, you're all comfy hanging out with your phone right now, little girl, but you just wait. You're going to be in the middle of some wilderness, once you get out of school, nonstop.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky that my grandpa, he retired early because he worked for the Postal Service. So he had a lot of free time, even though he had part-time jobs here and there. But yeah, in the summertime, I never saw any of my friends. I was always at my grandparents' house for 3 months out of the summer. So I can relate to Finn a little bit,
What state did they live in?
What's that?
What state did they live in?
Missouri.
Missouri.
They were close to us.
Yeah.
I grew up in Centralia, Missouri, which is right north of Columbia here. And then they lived in Mexico. But yeah. So yeah, it's can you imagine taking a kid bank fishing now? They go stir crazy.
Oh God, yeah. You got to get them on a boat so they have nowhere to go.
Yeah. A boat's the way to go. I was telling my wife, I was like, that place I wanted to take you up to was the Mark Twain's boyhood home up there at Mark Twain Lake.
Yeah.
Samuel Clemens.
That was our secret hideaway, Brian. You weren't supposed to tell anybody.
Well, it was then. It's not now.
I asked the lady today. She was kind of a goofy older lady. And she was saying, I don't know, the word lesbian showed up. And I asked her, I go, hey, is a gay lesbian straight?
What was the answer?
I'm asking you too. And you, gal. This is for the panel. This is my panel question for the night. Is a gay lesbian straight?
I guess it depends on what
Gay
side
and
of
lesbian are the same thing.
What?
Gay and lesbian are the same thing.
So a gay man is a lesbian?
I guess it depends on what side of gay you are.
Well, no, and I and she kind of looked at me. She goes, I can't even compute that. Like, what are you talking about? And she wanted to dig in deep, and I said, I go, but by definition, the word lesbian, it refers to a gay woman, right? Like that's what that lesbian means, gay woman. Gay is like a descriptive word. So like a gay lesbian. So I think she would be straight. I don't know. How does the chat feel about that? Is it gay?
I don't know. See, Galaxy, Jason always takes us on these right angle turns.
It's the
And he wonders why he's suspect.
come on, you're gonna ask, you're gonna ask the old lady tonight. Oh my God, Jason's so dumb. Tonight in front of millions of people, he asked if a gay lesbian was straight. Oh, it's fun. Hey, can I tell a story though that's kind of entertaining? You guys tolerate it for a second?
Why not?
All
We
right.
went this far.
And there's the answer. But anyways, so right? I'm right. Yeah. Anyway, so my daughter, we have chickens here, we have ducks here. Everybody has seen them on screen before. And my daughter, she has this habit of like, oh, I really want that puppy. Breaks my heart. Go get the fucking puppy, right? No big deal. Like, all right, you're feeding the dog, you're gonna take care of it, and that lasts about 3 weeks, not even that. And then I'm the sole owner of the puppy. And I'm kind of gotten used to that. Well, I wanted to order some chickens. I wanted to get some baby chicks this year. And I couldn't get them in time. And the ones that you get at the farm store, they're all sickly looking. Like you got to go right to the hatchery. So I'm gonna wait till the next hatch comes. But she went to the farm store and she goes, "Oh, these chickens are so cute." Well, the little shit bought 2 of them on her own, and she just brought them home. And I'm like, "What are you doing? They're like 2 and 3 inches tall, right?" And I told her, I said, "All right, they're chickens, or you're taking care of them. Like I don't want nothing to do with these. You're gonna learn what it means to be responsible." And she's like, "Well, fine." And she did too. She had these chickens in her room all the way up to the point where she came downstairs a while ago and she goes, "All right, Dad, they're chirping, they keep me up all night, and when I go to sleep, they run around my room. They jump out of their box." I'm like, all right, fine. Don't want chicken shit everywhere. So I built a big thing out here in the garage. And about a month passed. She helped me build it, which is good quality time. Did a really good job. So we got them out in the garage now. And well, they're getting to the age where they're starting to get their feathers, and like their legs have feathers coming out of them. They're just homely looking little things. And I was like, all right, well, now we have to start integrate them with the chickens the free range birds that we have outside. So we took the old trampoline, I wrapped chicken wire around it. I only had enough to do one layer, so there's like a 1.5 foot gap up on the top. So we just leave them out there during the day only, and we put them away. Well, that lasted, about 3 days. And then I started putting them out there, feeding them water, bringing them back in at night, blah, blah, blah. And I gave her a lecture. So she had pulled this shit with us on a puppy at an auction that nobody wanted, that the Amish brought up. And I got stuck with this puppy that she bought from another guy that bought the puppy at the auction because he felt sorry for the puppy for $20. So then once I got to the auction, my daughter's like, oh, and she found the guy and ended up buying the dog for $25, right? Well, this was a Norwegian moose hound, is what this is. And a Norwegian elk moose hound. And they're adorable little dogs. They're smart, but they're very stubborn and you can't train them. And I've done tons of research on these guys. Well, so we got this dog, a long process, but well, anyways, yesterday I told her, I said, "Hey, you need to start getting up a little more early before you go to school and put these damn chickens out in the yard so you can have some sun, be outside."
Right.
Well, I look over, she woke up this morning early, she sat them out there, she took care of them, and I was so proud of her because I didn't have to remind her. And I was gonna take off, so I go in the house, I go to the front door, and I was yelling at the dog. My dog was like, blah, blah. I go around the back of the house. The dog ate the chickens.
No, no.
And I'm like, oh my God. Well, she jumped in that little hole that was left uncovered, and she jumped in there, and I had 2 decapitated birds, a leg over here, and she put them right in the center, all proud of them, just chomping away on them. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, obviously she got a little bit of a whooping on that one, but yet that's in her nature because of the type of dog she is. So I can't
Right.
hold her too much, right?
Yeah.
So she was tied up, tied up all day. Well, I was preoccupied until about 3, and I was like, shit, I got to get home before she does because she's gonna go take care of the chickens, right?
Uh,
I basically passed her like what's that movie called? When I passed her on the way home to get home before she did.
oh
And
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the
what
movie.
movie is that? Where's Ben at? Ben would know what movie I'm talking about. Uh, anyways, so I got home and she come pulling in, and I go, honey, got a funny story for you, but it's not real funny. And she's like, and I told her, and a couple tears shed, and we talked about, well, the bottom line is that you kind of been neglecting the dog, and you're always getting something new, until the new wears off, then you go to the next thing. I go, the dog is still here. Like, you need to pay more attention to that dog. Get her used to the birds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Ferris Bueller. There we go. Yeah,
Ferris
yeah,
Bueller.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
I
felt
thought of it.
total.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah, I had a total Ferris Bueller moment today. And I didn't know how I was going to explain it to her, but it went well. But I felt so bad that her chickens got eaten. That's my story.
yeah, that's bad. I mean, but that you're right. It's in the dog's nature to,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Well, and that type of dog too. Like, if you ever want to look up a dog or get a dog, look into those Norwegian elk and moose hounds. They're
Mm,
fucking beautiful. They're smaller,
mm,
but they're resilient. Like, they will go through mountains and hunt down that moose, and they
mm.
will sit there and bark and bark and bark and let you know. And they run in packs. Like they'll go out for months. Like, the history on these dogs are amazing. Like, they're one of the oldest breeds of dogs in the world.
Yeah.
They, their DNA and the canines that were buried with the Vikings are almost an exact match. Like, it's an unmolested strain.
Mm,
Amazing dogs, and that's why the Amish have them. But you can't train them. They're so stubborn. You can't
yeah.
train them. I'll bring her on there sometime. I'll show her to you. I think you met her. Did you meet
Yeah.
her?
I think so. Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. Anyways, that's my story.
So why did the soybean cross the road?
Hmm.
Get
I
away
know.
from the chicken.
Oh, come on.
There's my quirky, corny joke for the night.
All right. All right.
I
Good
think we
night.
lost Galaxy. You still there, Galaxy? He's muted, so he's probably snoring.
I'm here.
Okay, he's there. He must have been getting tired of Stumpy's stories.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I always like his stories.
Oh yeah, he's got some good stories.
Yeah.
You do though.
I do, but there's some that I don't know. I keep my mouth shut a lot on what I don't say what I want to a lot of times. And I'm waiting for the day I can.
Hey, I gave you the platform just to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah. And I told you about my decapitated chickens. And just as a personal reference to everybody should look up the Hopi prophecy. All right. Like, just look into it, because that is about the walks of life that man takes. And you can learn something there.
Oh yeah, I agree. Just like I want to learn something about this ending. All right, Galaxy.
That's right.
But you know that you're going to get the ending that's being produced. That's why I don't get into it. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand where people, hey, it would be nice to know who got an A on their test, so we can beat them up on the bus later. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, the ending you're going to get at this point is going to be whatever is current. And I don't have faith in the current situation.
No.
So I mean, I can sympathize with you guys, but at the same time, it's like it's too buried already. The truth has been buried. Buried. It's been buried already, guys.
Yeah. Hopefully someday. Hopefully someday.
And someday the truth may come out, and it may be so far-fetched that no one will believe it.
Hopefully someday. Someday. You can see through this one. Yeah, you can. You can see through there. Me and my crazy head. Well, guys,
We're
I
all-
know. I think I've said enough.
It's a good show.
So I'm going to end the live stream. Y'all
Well-
can stay on for a second.
Brian, thank you for allowing me to join you too.
Yeah, I sent you a link. I didn't know if you'd make it or not.
I enjoy the show, and it's nice to not hear people pointing fingers at other people. Like, it's nice to sit and chill and just listen to other people. So
Yeah.
Thank you for being real.
Yeah. Thanks everybody in the chat. Shy Guy, Bill Gorman, Woody Bog, A Whisperer, Treasure Warriors was Ben from Treasure Warriors was on here. Lucky Digger, Treasure Poem. There's some probably gonna miss some people. Amy Gwynn was on there for a while.
Don't be picking favorites now.
I'm not picking favorites. Wig Reeves. I'm trying to get them all. I don't have any. I get along with that. One thing you've probably learned about me, Jason, is I pretty much get along with everybody.
Oh, I know, absolutely. That's why I talk to you.
And you know where I learned that from? My wife.
Is it? Nice.
Yeah. Because it's a little saying, if she ain't happy, you ain't happy. So I figure, heck, that must go with everybody. So I try to please everybody.
It took me a while to realize that each past relationship, you learn something new to try to make the next one work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you improve from each relationship.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, I should be about perfect for the next one.
Hopefully there's not a next relationship.
Oh no, she's stuck with me. She tolerates me. She loves me. So
Are you
all right,
still?
well,
Yep. I'm going to end the Zoom. See, last week I ended the whole Zoom meeting instead of just the live stream. But at least I was able to share this time.